Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You who are watching this video today know one thing. Nothing is accidental in Allah's decree. If He has guided your gaze, your heart, and your attention this far, it is because this message is for you. Not for later, not for tomorrow, but for now. And if you stay until the end, I will pray a special prayer for you. A supplication filled with light, designed to open for you the doors that Allah has prepared only for awakened hearts. But listen carefully, because this is not just a video nor a simple reminder. It is a divine call, a breath, a sacred whisper that speaks to your soul, not your ears. Do you feel this thrill, this tension in your heart? It is because your soul has recognized that this message comes from above. It is possible that you were waiting for a sign, a change, an answer. What if it was arriving now? What if it was the moment your soul has been waiting for months, even years? Allah, the All-Wise, never attracts anyone without wisdom. You are here because a new stage opens before you, a stage you can no longer ignore. A clear direction, a movement of the heart, a heavenly invitation to act, to change, to stand up for what you were created for. How many times have you felt this call deep inside you without daring to answer it? How many signs have you let pass, thinking that it was not yet the right time? But today, it is not like other times. Today, Allah insists. You don't have to be perfect to be chosen. You don't need to understand everything to move forward. You just have to listen sincerely. Allah doesn't always speak with words. Sometimes He acts through events, silences, pain, blockages, or coincidences that aren't. What if this video was one of those rare moments when heaven speaks directly to you? You think you have come here out of curiosity, but your soul knows that this is a meeting. Allah wants you to know, my servant, I have never forgotten you, but now it is up to you to come to me. So I ask you one thing, brother, sister, stay until the end, because this video will open your eyes to a spiritual reality that you felt without being able to name. And most importantly, at the end, I will offer you a deep and personal invocation, a prayer for your heart to be guided, for blockages to be opened, for you to enter the season of blessings that Allah has prepared just for you. You are an elected official. You are called. But will you listen? Will you answer this sacred call now? There comes a time in the life of every believer when everything becomes clearer. Not because circumstances change, but because the heart awakens. And when Allah decides to open the eyes of a servant, nothing can remain unclear. You feel that something is calling you, that things are no longer as they were before. The distractions that once absorbed you no longer have the same flavor. The voices around you bore you. Your soul yearns for meaning, light, direction. This is not a mere phase. This is not a passing fatigue. It is a call, a silent but profound sign. It is the voice of the Most High making you understand that you have been seen, that you have been chosen, that you are ready to receive. Allah does not address His calls to the inattentive. He speaks to the hearts He has prepared, and He is never wrong in choosing His servants. When you feel this restlessness within you, it is not a coincidence. It is a divine response to something you have done in the past, perhaps a tear shed in solitude, an act of sincerity ignored by people but seen by the Lord of the universe. Allah has heard you, and now He is clearly showing you the direction, a direction that does not depend on your surroundings, your past, or your current level. It depends solely on your current openness. For Allah does not choose the most visible. He chooses the most true. And if He has brought this message to your attention, it is because your heart is ready for what follows. Sometimes Allah removes certain things from our lives to create the void necessary for His word. Sometimes He isolates us so that we stop listening to the world and finally hear His will. If everything seemed blocked lately, if the doors you knocked on remain closed, if relationships have faded, if even your sleep has been filled with strange signs and heavy silences, then don't ask yourself 1,000 questions. It is Allah who is saying to you, I want you for myself. This kind of call doesn't come every day. And when it does, it demands a response. This is not the time to doubt your worth. This is not the time to compare yourself. This is the time to listen. Let go of the thoughts that tell you you're not good enough, that you're not ready, that you can't do it. He who created you knows exactly what you're capable of. He calls you according to your sincerity, not your appearance. The world may never have applauded you, but Allah has looked upon you with mercy. And today, He is guiding you.
Don't let your ego convince you it's nothing. Don't let laziness drown out what your soul has already understood. This moment is a crossroads.
And you weren't placed here to back down. You were chosen to hear, to understand, and above all, to respond. For when Allah clearly indicates a path, it means that immense good is hidden there. But only those who move forward discover it. And today, He has clearly shown you yours. There is a mistake that many believers make without realizing it, that of delaying what their hearts have already accepted. They feel the truth. They know what Allah expects of them, but they prefer to postpone obedience, thinking that the right time will come later. But this later is only a trap of the shaitan to steal sacred moments. Because what you can do now, with sincerity, in the purity of your inner turmoil, is more valuable in the eyes of Allah than 1,000 promises you will make when everything is going well. When your soul is agitated, when your heart is in turmoil, it is because you are alive before Allah. And that is the moment when you must act, because every second of hesitation is a possibility of closing yourself off. Allah does not like those who delay, who push away the opportunities to return to Him. He loves those who hear His call and rise up, even if they are not yet ready, even if they are afraid, even if they doubt themselves. It is in this movement, in this surge of confidence, that true faith is born. How many souls have been invited to change and have not responded? How many reminders have been heard, felt, but ignored out of pride or laziness? And how many regrets have arisen from this indecision? The believer must not wait for everything around him to be perfect to move towards Allah. This world will never be perfect. Your environment, your emotions, your surroundings, everything is designed to test your ability to choose the light even in disorder. This is where the nobility of your soul lies. When you say yes to Allah at the moment when everything within you trembles, this is when you become a true servant. Do not say that you will change tomorrow, because tomorrow is not yours. What you have in your hands is this breath, this moment, this opportunity offered to you now. History teaches us that people who hesitated after receiving guidance lost their chance. The people of Musa saw miracles, heard the voice of their prophet, but they said, "Go, you and your Lord, fight. We remain here." They delayed obedience, and it cost them entry into the promised land. Today, you are not facing a physical desert, but an inner one. You sense that something within you is waiting for a trigger. You want to move toward greater clarity, greater closeness to your Creator. But if you don't move now, you risk getting bogged down in a spiritual routine that slowly extinguishes your light. The greatest trap for the believer is not ignorance. It is useless waiting. It is knowing and not acting. You may be afraid of losing, afraid of abandoning certain habits, afraid of disturbing those around you, afraid of being alone on your journey. But remember that whoever takes one step towards Allah, Allah takes 10 steps towards him. Whoever comes to Him walking, Allah comes to him running. These are not empty metaphors. They are promises of the Prophet. You cannot imagine what your action today can trigger in your future. A single sincere choice can change an entire trajectory. You will not see the immediate effects, but in the invisible world things will begin to move. Allah will grant you help, strength, openings you did not expect. But for that, you must get up now. Don't be like those who say, "One day I will turn to Allah." That day is never guaranteed. Instead, say to yourself, "Today I am taking the first step." And you will see that this step is already a victory. You don't need to understand everything. You just need to obey the call your heart clearly hears. And you have recognized this call. So why wait any longer? The time is here. The signal is there. You know what you must do. So move forward. Among the rarest gifts Allah grants His servants are those precise moments when everything in the universe seems to fall silent to let you hear a truth. These moments don't last long. They appear suddenly, often in silences, breakups, pain, or even moments of total calm. You then feel a presence, a light but deep weight in your heart. You can't explain it with words, but you know that you are being seen, that you are being guided. These moments don't always come back. They are spiritual opportunities placed in your life out of pure mercy. And if you seize them, they can radically transform your existence. How many times have we neglected these sensations? Out of fear of the unknown, attachment to comfort, or simply distraction. But the attentive believer knows that these moments are not ordinary.
They are like small openings in the sky, gaps of light that penetrate our daily lives to give us a glimpse of what Allah has in store for us, if only we respond. If you feel an inner urgency today, if your heart beats faster upon hearing this message, it is not a simple emotion. It is a reminder, a signal telling you that the time to respond has come. For Allah in His wisdom does not multiply calls endlessly. He gives, then waits for your response. Imagine that one of those moments is precisely this one. Imagine that throughout your journey, in all the detours you've taken, Allah has prepared this precise moment to offer you a turning point, a door, a key. What if you missed it? Not because you're wicked, not because you reject faith, but simply because you didn't recognize the divine opportunity in what seemed ordinary. It's important to understand that guidance doesn't always come in the form of a dazzling miracle. It can come in the form of a word spoken at the right time, a video opened by chance, a deep feeling you try to ignore. But it's there, and whoever knowingly ignores it bears the responsibility. You should also know that life is made up of seasons. There are times when Allah opens the heavens wide to draw you to Him. In these moments, everything is easier. Prayer becomes sweet. Tears flow effortlessly. The verses of the Quran resonate with power. But if you don't take advantage of these seasons, they go away. And sometimes, they take a long time to return. You may then find yourself in an inner dryness, a desert of faith, without understanding why. And everything goes back to those precious moments you didn't seize. Those signals you ignored, those calls you didn't respond to. Don't think you can always find that same intensity. The heart, when it rejects the light, becomes harder. The reminder that touches you today may produce nothing tomorrow. It's not because the message has changed, it's because your heart has hardened. This is why the companions of the Prophet seized each moment as if it were the last. They didn't postpone anything until tomorrow. They knew that what we miss through negligence may never return. Let this thought settle deeply within you. What you feel now may be unique. It may be your moment of opening, the one that Allah had planned long ago. And you are here with this breath, this reminder, this possibility. This is not the time to turn away. There are decisions that once made change an entire life. not because of what you do externally, but because of what you trigger internally. A simple yes to the remembrance of Allah can break invisible chains, open doors you thought were permanently closed. These are not metaphors. This is the reality of the believer's life. If you respond today, if you stand up in the silence of your heart and say, "Here I am, Lord," then expect to see things change. Not always spectacularly, but always wisely. Allah acts in the depths, and those who follow Him sincerely are never disappointed. There is a danger that many underestimate, that of doing nothing when Allah calls. This silence, this passive refusal, this constant hesitation. It is a response in itself. Not acting when you know you are called is like turning your back on a sacred invitation. And sometimes, this inaction is more destructive than the error, because it gently lulls the soul to sleep. It makes it believe there will be a better time, a more propitious day, an ideal condition. But that day does not come. It loses itself in waiting. And the heart, for its part, becomes accustomed to the calm of negligence, to the point of no longer feeling the call of the divine. When Allah calls you once, it is an honor. When He calls you twice, it is a mercy. But if you remain deaf to His signs, there comes a time when your heart begins to close. Not because Allah has abandoned you, but because you have repeated too often that you were not ready. The soul slowly moves away from the reminder. It becomes indifferent. It is not a sudden change, it is a slow inner erosion. And that is the real danger. For you continue to pray, perhaps. You continue to fast, to associate with other believers. But deep down, something has gone out. A light has withdrawn. A closeness has been broken. It's not always visible from the outside. Others may still see you as a pious person. But you know something is missing. Your heart is heavy. Your prayers are dry. Your faith no longer has that sweetness. And you wonder why. The answer is often hidden in those moments when you chose not to listen. When you ignored a strong emotion, a clear message, a verse that struck you. You got up in the morning with the firm intention of changing, then you let that flame go out before nightfall. It's these small setbacks that build great distances. But it's never too late. As long as you breathe, as long as your heart responds to these words, there remains a door. But it won't remain open indefinitely. If you still feel that turmoil, that holy tension in your soul, then know that you are not yet lost. You are still called. But the question is clear. Will you continue to wait? Will you remain silent when your Lord says to you, "Come back to me"? The danger is not in what you do, it's in what you refuse to do. And today, you have no more excuses. You have heard. You have understood. The rest is up to you. You have come this far. You have listened to this message not only with the ears of your body, but with the silent depths of your heart. And if you have stayed until the end, it is because deep within you, something has vibrated. You know it. You have not come here by mistake. What you have just heard is not addressed to the crowd. It is addressed to you, specifically. Your journey, your pains, your inner struggles, your disappointments, your hopes. Allah knows them one by one. And if He has guided your steps to this word, it is because He wants to bring about a turning point in your life. A passage, a shift, an awakening. Not an upheaval that crushes you, but a call that is both gentle and strong, like a hand placed on your heart to say to you, "I am here. You can still change, you can still grow, you can still find me." You don't need to shout or do 1,000 things to respond. You just have to bow down. Say to yourself, "I am ready." Even if you don't know how yet, even if you're trembling, even if you still have doubts. what you offer today is your intention. And Allah takes sincere intentions and makes them gardens of light. You can start with something small, a prayer you take up seriously, a bad habit you leave behind, a kind word you say to someone, a tear you shed in the solitude of the night. Every action counts. Every step counts. Nothing is wasted when it is done for Allah. Perhaps you are tired of struggling, tired of falling. But know that your tiredness is known to the All-Merciful. Every sigh you heave to stay standing, every time you have refrained from speaking evil, every time you have extinguished a desire to remain faithful to Allah, every time you have resisted the urge to give up everything. All of it is written. Nothing goes unnoticed. The world may ignore you, but Allah sees you. He knows you better than you know yourself. He sees what you want to become, even if you haven't even begun. And that is why He calls you, not because you are already perfect, but because He knows what you can be if you come to Him. And now, before I leave you, I want to leave you with an invocation. Not a simple prayer recited, but a word that rises to heaven with your name in it. Close your eyes if you can, let your heart open, and listen to each word as if it were whispered to you alone, in the secret of the bond between your soul and your Lord. Ya Allah, you who see in silence, you who hear hearts when mouths no longer dare to speak, look at your servant or maidservant who stands before you at this moment. Ya Rab, he or she is tired, but still standing. He or she is injured, but still believing. He or she has fallen, but he or she wants to get up again. So Ya Allah, take this weakness and transform it into light. Make this fatigue a cause of closeness. Make his or her past mistakes a bridge to your mercy. Ya Rahman, open for him, open for her, the doors that no one can close. Grant him clarity when the mind is troubled, stability when the heart wavers, peace when all seems lost. Protect him, protect her from the traps of shaitan, from the illusions of the world, and from inner doubts. Make him walk with you, even in the darkness. Fill his heart with a light that never fades. Fill his soul with a hope that weathers storms. Ya Fatah, grant this person who listens to these words a blessed opening in their life. May their plans be guided by you. May their decisions be blessed by you. May their steps be directed to you. If they cry in secret, wipe away their tears. If they are alone, be their companion. If they feel lost, be their guide. And if they have only a single spark of faith left, Ya Allah, nourish it until it becomes a sacred fire of love for you. Ya Karim, do not let him or her leave this video without a change beginning to dawn within him or her. Make it not just a beautiful reminder, but a turning point, an act, a transformation. May this listening be a testimony in his or her favor on the day when all will be exposed. Ya Allah, be his protector, his support, his source of peace, today, tomorrow, and for eternity. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد والحمد لله رب العالمين.